What's up, YouTube? We back with another one. Today is May 5th, and last night the Cavs lost game one. We're gonna go over that, and also the Golden State Warriors moved on. They showed their veteran playoff experience and actually handled the Rockets pretty easily. So we're gonna go over that, and then we're gonna do the previews for the second round right now. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We in the building. But yeah, yesterday, the Sixers. I mean, not the Sixers. The Cavs lost game one. A lot of people. I've seen a lot of people that have bets on the Cavs to win the championship, and their odds are starting to go down. You gotta start. You gotta actually realize, even though the Cavs had a pretty easy series with the Magic, Darius Garland didn't play the last three games of the first round, and then he missed game one. And right now, Tyrese Halliburton cooking. Indiana was running. You already know that Cleveland plays too big, so Indiana was running right off of makes. People already know how Indiana basically plays. So this might be a tough matchup for Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell had 30 plus points, but he took 30 plus shots. So that wasn't a really efficient point, really efficient situation for their top scorer. And let's look over the box score more. We got the Pacers had six people in double figures. So you know the Pacers are a pretty deep team. So they're gonna run. They're gonna make pass the ball a lot. From what I've seen from when the Pacers play, they usually pass the ball a lot and they run off and make some misses. So that's how they're gonna play. So they're gonna get high assist games and things like that, and a lot of players playing getting a lot of points. We got Mobley had an okay game, 20 and 10. Mitchell, like I said, had the 30 plus, but Jared Allen only had 12 points, 5 rebounds. Max Strus only had 7 points. And then DeAndre Hunter only had 11 points. Todd Jerome came off the bench and gave him a pretty good game. But I believe DeAndre Hunter got to be way more of an X factor, especially if Darius Garland not going to play. Because Darius Garland is a big part of their offense. So DeAndre Hunter got traded there from Atlanta to add more punch to their offense. So I think you know what I'm saying? Because even I think they traded Karis LeVert for him. I believe is Karis LeVert still on that team? Yeah, and Karis LeVert was a good. Me remember him Cleveland. He was a good scorer off the bench. So Hunter got to give them something. 11 points. That ain't too much. And then I've seen what's the name Karis LeVert dropped 25 points and things like that in key wins for the Cavs, and he was part of the team in the first half of the season. Even though they still finished off pretty strong, they were hot in the beginning of the season. They were on pace for like 70 wins, so they kind of tweaked the team a little bit. But the chemistry that they had, that team was together for a while, so that's probably something that even though they pretty much handled the Magic in the first round, but the Magic were injured. But this series is probably going to test them. We also last night we had the Warriors taking Game 7, and it's kind of crazy because Buddy Hield had about 20 something points in the first half, and it kind of reminded me of last year. Do y'all remember when the Sixers had that Game 6 against New York, and they actually didn't go to him in the second half? He had a great first half. That's kind of reminding me of that. And he kind of cool. He gave him 33, so they kept going to him in the second half still, which is good. That's the one thing the Sixers didn't do that game. That could have forced a Game 7 because I believe Buddy Hield is like he's that type of player that once he gets so hot that once he could go anywhere. Like he could start running off screens as soon as he catch that ball, put it up, it starts going in. He's one of them type of lethal shooters, and his stats show it. From all these years, his stats show that he's a lethal shooter. So that it's good that Golden State went to that because Steph Curry didn't have the greatest game. He had 22 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, but he didn't have the greatest. You know, people are used to him having like 40-point games and Game 7s and things like that. And Jimmy Butler gave them what they gave him, 20 points too. And Draymond Green had a pretty good. I think he had like 2 threes in the first quarter, and people were thinking he was going to score a whole lot of points. But he had 16, and that's pretty good for Draymond because of what he brings on the defensive side of the floor is unmatched. So at the end of the day, You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Draymond, him having 16 points is like a regular player having 25 points because he brings so much defensively. So yeah, from what I see, yeah, that's basically who got them over in that game. And Buddy Hill was basically the key factor because if Buddy Hill went on a play yesterday, I'm pretty sure that would have been way closer game. Kind of caught them by surprise. So now the second round matchups in the NBA is Boston, New York, which is gonna be a heck of a series. And even though I don't like none of the teams because I'm a Sixers fan, but at the end of the day, they're in the second round. Then we got Cleveland, Indiana, which has started already, and that's that. I'm hoping that Cleveland gets more healthy so they can, you know what I'm saying, like they can actually like it could be a tight series because I don't know if Cleveland, man, hopefully Cleveland wins game two, but then in Indiana it's gonna be hard for them to get a game without Darius Garland, so they're gonna have to try to get him to play. So yeah, that's the thing. Then we got in the West Denver and OKC, which would be a matchup of the MVPs, which I put the short up that got over 30,000 views of who's the MVP. Everybody's really like controversial about it. Y'all know that the MVP gets it gets like announced in the second round of the playoffs, Zoe. So this is gonna be crazy. Like this has to be the first time in history that two MVPs play each other and they're actually like playing each other in a season where they're 1-2 in the MVP. And it's certain people saying, "Oh, Shea is way better." But people have painted this narrative now that Shea is way better defensively than Jokic. And even though Jokic is better offensively, Shea led the league in scoring. But if you see Jokic stats, I think he averaged a triple double, high 20 triple double, and it's like never been seen. A lot of the things he's been doing, he's been having stats this year that's hit like it's never been done in history. So do you look at those things? I think he had like a 60-20-20 game. Like that's never been done before. So do you look at those things or do you look at the fact that Shea, I think he led the league in scoring. He was top three in the league in steals or led the league in steals. So that could be a thing too. And the fact that his team he was number one seed. And I think he had the best record in the whole NBA. So that's like it's controversial points for both sides. So this series, hopefully the first couple games, we could see a little bit more of our opinions, you know, playing out on the court. We another little storyline in that series is Russell Westbrook, where he spent his first, I believe, 9 seasons of his career or 10 seasons. He's going to play back in OKC, so they're gonna be, and his matchup is gonna be Shea. Probably they're probably gonna put him on Shea because he's about 6'5". So, but probably they're gonna put like Aaron Gordon and stuff like that on Shea to give him some physicality. So that's gonna be another storyline in the series, especially if Russ played good in the last series against the Clippers. So he played against his former team in that one too. So maybe he made key plays to win games. So maybe that's what he's planning on doing in this series. But we're gonna see about that. And the last series would be Golden State and Minnesota. Crazy to think that Minnesota as the 60 has home court advantage in this series too. So is the veteran leadership of Golden State going to push them past Minnesota, or is Minnesota like Anthony Edwards' aura right now is crazy? Like he's feeling like the next Michael Jordan. So is that gonna push him over? Because he did struggle the last game, and his teammates picked up for him, which is like Jaden McDaniels, the guy off the bench, Alexander, something like that. They picked up for him. So is they gonna pick up for him in this series, or is Anthony Edwards gonna have at least a couple big games like he did against the Lakers in the beginning, and then once they get the series lead, then he could like kind of fall back on it. So we gotta kind of see how. Hopefully, if Anthony Edwards his shooting slump continues into the second round, especially the way he's been kind of like celebrating and things like that's kind of like not like a good look. But hopefully he doesn't, because we all love watching Anthony Edwards play at his best. But hopefully this shooting slump doesn't keep going. But if the shooting slump keeps going, Golden State taking this, and they're gonna take it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. So those are my breakdowns of the four series that's going on right now. Now I'm gonna about to give y'all my predictions for Boston and New York. I got Boston in 6. even though I hate to say it. Boston in 6, maybe in 7, but 6-7. I got that being a tight series. Cleveland and Indiana, that's going to be a tight series too. I got Indiana in 7. Just because Indiana made it to the conference finals last year, and just because of the injuries that Cleveland is facing. So right now, that's basically a little, like a hot pick right now. So a hot take. So right there. So we got Cleveland and Boston and I mean not Cleveland, Indiana and Boston in the conference finals again. That was the rematch last year. Uh, we got in the other side we got Minnesota and Golden State, and then we got um Minnesota and Golden State and Denver and OKC. So Denver and OKC, I'm sorry to say it, even though OKC is what it is, I think they a one man band right now. Even though everybody's chipping in and they got a lot of players that can shoot threes, I got Denver taking it because of experience. Denver in 7 or 6, and then with Minnesota and Golden State, I want to say Golden State, and I'm gonna say Golden State because they just too deep for real. Like I don't trust Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert to have another good series. So I'm taking Golden State in 6. So we got Golden State and Denver in the conference finals, Indiana and Boston. Those are my takes. I'm not gonna give y'all too much more because we're gonna keep predicting and keep on going with the recaps of these games, and then we're gonna go on to the next round and we're gonna have things to say about that. But thanks for watching. Uh, like, comment, and subscribe. It's Frank Bank, and I'm out.